We are here at Lavington SDA Church today, here in Nairobi, Kenya, to celebrate and witness the dedication of this particular sanctuary. And this in itself speaks a lot of things, especially in terms of the wave of total member involvement that we have witnessed here in this particular division of East Central Africa. For the last, more than 5 years, I should say, every member has indeed been dedicated and committed to making sure that they bring a soul to the fold of God. And so Lavington SDA Church began way back in 2000, in the late 90s. In 2002, Lavington SDA Church had just a handful of members, about 50 of them. They were worshiping under a tree and then moved to a tent. And now we have this particular sanctuary, which is something really to be proud about. But this is not just about the infrastructure, but the commitment and dedication of the church members in East Central Africa Division. And so we hope that this particular milestone will go a long way in informing our approach to evangelism, because apart from just the building in itself as it is, we have also seen that they have dedicated a space for the digital media, such that evangelism is not just conducted in pews and remain here in churches, but we are able to reach those who actually are not even able to come to Lavington physically.
Now this church started as a small church. We started in a tent, around 50 people, and the population now, the membership now is 1,500 membership, not counting Sabbath school members. Membership are those people whose names are in the books of the church.
We need to spread the news. The digital channel, the media, is key in this one. So we have here a studio. We need to develop the skills so that digitally we can be able to literally reach the world.
Media is a tool for reaching people that is very powerful. You have seen during the COVID pandemic that media played a key role in ensuring that the mission of the church moved forward. So congratulations, Lavington. May God bless you. We'll work together to accomplish your objectives.
Okay, first of all, this is quite a historic event. You know, church dedication is not all the time taken very seriously, especially when you consider the kind of church that you are dedicating. But this particular one underlines another new level to which our church here in East Central Africa Division, here in East Kenya Union and Central Kenya Conference in the city of Nairobi is getting to. Now when you look at this structure, you can tell that millions and millions of Kenyan shillings have been put here, invested here, by our own church members who gladly, because of their deep sense of mission, have desired to build a magnificent place of worship for their God. Now you cannot dissociate this kind of commitment and sacrifice with the depth of spirituality of our members. The two go together. What is in the heart is necessarily what is depicted out there. And so it gives me a really very satisfying feeling as a church leader in this region. And my prayer really is that this spirit, rather than the building, but even if the building itself is replicated everywhere else in our region, it will be a double blessing. So I'm so happy that we can have a building like this one in our region.
It takes an entire church, from small children to the eldest among them, to prepare a program like this. Because it's a celebration of a journey, a mission journey, trying to implement Christ's mission. And it had a very small beginning, and this is what it really is historically. Even the entire Christian church began with Jesus Christ and 12 apostles. Then it has grown now to be a global movement. Christianity is the largest religion in the world.
Adam used to pray under a tree. So if this is the case, let us start praying under the tree. A building will come forward. And we started several Harambes. I would say that I was one of the first who mounted an Harambee for this church to build it. We invited, at that time, Minister Professor Ngeri, so many others. And there was a Minister of Public Works, I forget his name right now, but all those people, and we saw good money. Then when we saw good money, we realized the church would be built.
Every church should really begin thinking about themselves as we are centers of influence. This is, as the pastor was preaching today, he said, God asked for a temple that he might dwell among. And the reason for that is that God wants to have an influence in this world. Now, the media center, the studio that this church has, is an example of how this church intends to be an influencer in this world, to make a difference in people's lives, to give them information, to give them hope, to give them help. And and I love the idea that a church would have a media center. You see, there are studios and there are channels all over this world that are doing different kinds of media, but a church doesn't just do media. We do multimedia presentations, of course, but churches can do what I like to call multi-dimensional media.
We want to appeal that this church should not make us so comfortable that we don't want to move out. We still have a lot of work to be done. If that tree was not there, this church could not be here. So we need to move out to these other small areas where we have some members coming from there. Let us take churches to where the people are. Even if it means meeting in a school, even if it means meeting in a social hall, even if it means meeting in people's houses. Let us start congregations everywhere. This is what we mean by saturating. We need Nairobi to be saturated.
Not only proud but excited to have a church that has been fully dedicated, a church which is very good in outreach and doing very well, not only locally here but even outside our conference and even outside our country. So we are overjoyed, yes.
I want to tell my members thank you for wonderful job they have done. They have been well connected through from the elders office, the CDC office and all the departments. And may God be with them. They may bless him in a special way and in abundance, that they may receive what they have been lacking because of what they have done to their God by doing up this magnificent thing to our God. May God be with them and guide them in a special way.
For a word of encouragement, even for those who were not pioneers of the church, we have different talents. So even though you are not part of the building and you're in this church today, there's that little thing that you can contribute towards winning a soul for Christ. So you should not feel that you're left out. There are people who came towards the end. All they did, they bought the seats, and now you're here, the seats are already bought. There's the maintenance of the church, and there's also the soul winning, which is most important. So we encourage the members who are joining us that the work is not yet over.
We have had leaders from all across the division and even at the General Conference join in today for this particular celebration. It has been one that every member is proud of, and especially so those who are members of Lavington SDA Church. So we hope that this would indeed inspire a lot of other members from our church to be able to do their level best to make sure that we not only have places of worship, but we bring people to worship in these spaces.